There we go. Hopefully people can hear me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I know it's been a while. Make sure that we're live. Make sure that we are actually live. Yep, it says we're live. Hi, everybody. I know it's been a very long time since I've gone live or done anything. Hi, Liz. How are you? Thank you for being here. It's kind of like a random catch-up. I've been doing a lot of book clubs on other people's channels, but I haven't had a lot of time over the past month and a half to do content on my channel. So this is to catch everybody up on what's been going on. Nothing bad, it's just I was on vacation for literally 3 weeks, and that kind of messed up the content. How are you, Liz? Thank you for being here. Since this is kind of like a random video, ooh, I want to know your thoughts. Hi, Pat! Hi! How are you? It's been forever since I've gotten a chance to talk to you. Of course, that's pretty much what happened with my not posting on YouTube. Hi! Thank you for coming! Hi! But this is just kind of a random book haul. I was in Minnesota for a friend's wedding, and the other half and I went to a couple used bookstores. So the first one that we got, or the first one that I got, we spent way too much money on everything, was... Oh, can you guys hear me okay? Or do I need to adjust the audio at all? Yeah. That's kind of what it gets comped to. I hope you're liking it. Oh, I love you, Pat. It's probably so late your time. What time is it over there? I wish you had a channel so I could support you too. But I got volume 1 of The Backstagers. As a former theater kid, I had to get this one. And the art style is just... This isn't giving away anything, but this is kind of the art style. It won't. I promise. It won't. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. So, book 1 down. I don't know how many books I have in this book haul. It's random and big and a little bit of everything. So, I found a copy of King Lear. This is actually the only Shakespeare play that I do not own, so I picked up a copy. I can't wait to read it, actually, because I don't think I never had to read it. I know, isn't it different? And being like a former theater kid and still loving theater to this day, I was like, I have to pick it up. And I think James Tynion the Fourth, Ryan Scotch, and Walter Biltmore helped write the story. Oh my goodness. Do you sleep or just take cat naps? Because I'm jealous. Teach me your ways. This one's for my partner and I, because we're both huge fans of Terry Pratchett. So when we were at this used bookstore in Minnesota. I believe it was right outside St. Paul, and it's called Uncle Victor's. It's a science fiction and mystery bookstore, and literally it's a warehouse full of used books. So we went kind of crazy in that store. I am having a cup of tea in honor of Pat. Another one, I didn't pick this up at the used bookstore. The pile's kind of random because I'm actually reconfiguring my shelves as we speak. So, like, the piles don't have rhyme nor reason to them at all. Sorry, technical difficulty. Hi, Jamie. Thanks for being here. And this one is book 2 from the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series. It is the Shadow Cabinet. I love these covers. I know everybody like raves about the UK covers, and a lot of the books I do rave about UK covers, but these covers are gorgeous. It's a lot thicker than the first one. This seems to be the summer of the thick book for me. I don't know why, but it is. Ooh, I can help you with that. If are you looking to start in his like Discworld series that has series within series? Is that what you're looking at? I love everybody saying hi to everybody. I love it. I cannot wait to read this. It's the Combat Codes by Alexander Darwin. And it's a fantasy where he based the magic system on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, which I just think is really cool. And I have personal experience with both of those because my father did it for the majority of my childhood. So I think it's really cool that the magic system is based on different types of fighting techniques. Um, there's a couple places I can recommend depending on if you want to start with Death's arc as Death as the main character, I would start with Mort. But if you want to try and just gauge his humor and see if his humor's for you, I would I would start with Guards. It's technically book 7 in the series, but there's multiple mini-series within the series, so I recommend starting with Guards. I know, someone sent this to me, and there's no note. Someone sent this to me, and I was so excited, because I believe this came out this past Tuesday, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Because I wanted to read it when it was independently published. And then when I went to go buy a copy, there were no more copies available. I guess that was right when he got picked up. I think he got picked up by Orbit. I think this is Orbit. Yeah, Orbit. Yeah. So, I wanted to read it a long time ago, and then I found out it was being picked up by Orbit, and I was like, yes, thank you. And I hope, and I had conversations with him, and he seems lovely, Alexander Darwin. This one I'm so excited for. This is the War of the Flowers by Tad Williams. I found this one on Pengo Books actually. Um, it is the first book in his, or no, this is a standalone in his Ostenard world, and it's chunky. Again, summer of the chunky books, but I've always wanted to pick up Tad Williams, and a friend recommended to me that this was his most well-known standalone. I'm sorry, my hands are shaking. I don't know why. Um, so I'm gonna give this a shot, and I also have a copy somewhere of the Dragon Bone Chair, and I'm really, really excited for this. I know, right? His covers are, especially like, this is the original cover, because the hardcovers don't exist anymore. You have to buy these chunky, chunky paperbacks. And I found this for like less than $5 on Pengo Books, and I think I like screamed. Ooh, if you find it, let me know and we can buddy read it, because I definitely want to read a lot of, because someone sold him to me by like him being your favorite fantasy author's favorite author, because I think this came out in 89, 90, 89. So like this was before George R.R. Martin, all the famous ones that we know today. Oops. Yeah, I have the first one. I don't have the rest of the series. I think the first one's Dragon Bone Chair, if I remember correctly. Whoops. My computer's not cooperating with me. Let me see. I'm messing with this still. Hold on. I had to adjust it. Okay. Yeah, I was having issues with my mic. I don't know if something became unplugged, but it wasn't working for like 2 weeks. So I've been having issues ever since. Um, and then again, summer of the Chunky Book, because I'll be starting this in August or September with my friend Helen. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. Again, know nothing about this, just know that it's a chunky, chunky, chunky book. I know that it's like magic realism fantasy, but that's pretty much it. But I'm excited. I had this on my wish list forever because the paperback never went on sale, and it was like $8 the other day, so I picked it up. I'm actually in the middle of reading this one. It's a mystery series a la Jane Austen. So it is the late Mrs. Willoughby. The first one was the death of Mr. Wickham was the first one, and we did a book club on it last year. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. But they were just fun. It's basically following the children of the couples that get together in Jane Austen books. They solve mysteries, and this is book 2 in the series. The series is called A Mr. Darcy and Mrs. Tilney Mystery by Claudia Gray. I really liked the first one because it was just fun, and Jane Austen's one of my favorites, so it was kind of cool to see where you can go with the like making up your own characters in her world. Oh, okay. I'm always so afraid with Mr. Norrell because it is so big. Like, I want to know what people think, but I'm also afraid of being spoiled because I've never read it. So that's good to know. I will star that comment so I don't forget. Yeah, I forget who gave me a hardcover copy, but it's so thick that like I don't know about anyone else, but when they're like thicker books, I prefer reading them in paperback because they just after a while they get so hard to hold. There's a story with this one. So this is the Sword of Avalon, and I can't tell going off of Goodreads. It's technically book 6 in a series, but it says that you can read it as a standalone. So my partner and I, we we decided to do like this little scavenger hunt while we were at that bookstore in Minneapolis. So we picked a book out for each other, knowing what both of us like to read, and he picked this one out for me. And again, I wish books said which number in the series it was, because he had no clue that it was book 6. But thank goodness I think you can read this as a standalone. So we'll give it a shot and see. Whoops. Why is... Do you have a wish list? Because if you put it on your wish list, I can get it for you. Let's see. Now, this book series, I literally, like, screamed when I saw it at the used bookstore. It's, Spirit Gate by Kate Elliott. I have not seen the hardcovers of these ever, and the paperbacks are so expensive. So when I saw the whole entire series for less than $16, I had to grab it. And for being a hardcover, it's not heavy. So and why can't all books do this? Like it says on the bottom, book 1 of a series. The continuation of a series. This is book 2. Whoops, I'm covering up the title. I'm sorry. Book 2. And then it says on the bottom here, conclusion of. Whoop. Having all books fall on me. Conclusion of. It's not that hard. Why don't books places do it? Whoops, I read that one. Whoops. Yeah, I picked him up, I think, Holy Sister and the Terry Pratchett book that I showed you guys earlier. So, he's a gamer, so I'm trying to get him back into books, and he's trying to get me into gaming. Yeah, exactly, $16 for the whole series. I was like, going in my bag, absolutely going in my bag. Okay. This one I've never heard about, but just the title alone intrigued me. The Plot to Save Socrates by Paul Levinson? I think I'm saying that right. This was another find from the Minneapolis bookstore. Hi! How are you? I was literally just talking about you before we went live. Hi. Nothing bad. I was literally just saying that even though I literally made the thumbnail this morning, that you would probably find a way to be here because you're the best. Let me see. This is actually a book that I'm reading now, as Liz will know. Liz will know about the London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. Let's see. Hopefully this isn't... I'm on chapter 9. I'm really enjoying it. It's a dual timeline, but not really, because it's only going back a couple months. A sister is trying to figure out what happened to her sister when she passed. And she's working for a medium slash a woman that does seances in the 1920s. So it's really, really interesting. I'm curious to hear Liz's thoughts, because Liz was the one that brought this to our attention. That's why we're reading it for the book club. That's the Who Picked This Book Club on the Who Picked This Book YouTube channel. I believe it's linked down below. If it's not, I will fix it and link it once I'm finished with this. I'm trying to not have an avalanche. Hold on. Okay. And this one, I was surprised I found it when we went to the bookstore. Because you are the best. I love you. Love you. You're stuck, as I told you many, many times, you're stuck with me forever. Okay. What do you think so far? Because I think it said that I'm 20% in, going off of my audiobook that I'm listening to through the library. I'm really enjoying it so far. Again, not far in. I'm about 9-10 chapters in. Yes, I agree. I'm I'm very curious. I want to figure out what the mystery's all about. Love you more. Good. Yay. Good. So maybe I could destroy your TBR as much as you destroy mine. Every time I watch one of your videos, I'm like adding that to the TBR, adding that to the TBR. Me too. Or I don't want to say I'm behind, but I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but like I feel like I'm giving out more lower ratings, or I'm not enjoying as many books as I thought I would enjoy this year. I don't know what happened to your first comment. Oh, there it is. I knew you were here. I don't know why it skipped your comment. Hi, Vina. But I am really, like, because I'm not trying to stress myself out. I'm not fully behind, but I'm not where I would like to be. Me too. I really am enjoying that book completely. And this one, I believe, was recommended to me by Helen, and I actually found an uncorrected proof while I was in the used bookstore in Minneapolis. Um, The Lady of Sherwood. I just thought I was picking up a paperback, and I looked at the back of it, and it literally has the marketing material on the back. I was like, no way! This one I just bought on my own. I blame my friend Charles. He recommended this nonfiction called Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI by David Grenn? Grann? But I'm really curious. It's about families that end up unknowingly moving onto an oil refinery and what happens in the 1920s. So this is your fault, Charles. I'm picking this up in July. I'm really excited. If I could reach everything. This is another used bookstore find. I guess this came out, it says August 2003, so this must have come out when the new Terminator movie was coming out that year. But my brother is a huge Terminator fan, so when I found out they made books to go with the Terminator movies, and I didn't know that I picked up uncorrected proof. But hey, I was there to support a mom and pop business. I know you're technically not supposed to sell ARCs, but when it's a used bookstore, it's okay. I have short arms. Sorry. Princess will recognize this. This is my next read on my to-do list. Whoops. The comments just jumped up. I'm sorry. Hold on. Everybody saying hi. I love it so much. Yeah, it depends on the book for me. But I'm just kind of just going with it and seeing what happens. But Princess will recognize this one. This is for her book club, and I think the discussion is in July, if I'm correct. I'm really excited about this, though. The Vanished Queen by Lisbeth Campbell? I love the cover. It's so, like, old school fantasy. This one was a gift sent to me by the author. I interviewed her last year on my friend Erin at the Erin's reading room channel. I can't think today. But for my birthday, she sent me a signed copy of her newest book, the Montana Wolves series. It's a shapeshifter romance with cowboys. Sign me up. And my birthday was in March, and it literally came out on my birthday, but she didn't get physical copies till just recently, so I got a belated birthday present. Yeah, I I really think I'm gonna do TBR, like slight TBRs, but leave room for mood reading. Jeez, Pete's StreamYard does not like me today. It was in the ground in the 1920s, so when they found it, this is what I know from what Charles told me. So when they found it, they tried to not give it to the native people that were living on the land. So that somehow birthed the FBI, and that period of time just fascinates me. So when I found out that there was a nonfiction about it, I was really curious. Yes, yes. I'm gonna have to use that from now on, Liz. And this begins another section of chunkers that I want to work on this summer. A copy of Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. I've never read it. I've never had to read it in college, in school. Let me see. I know, right? Sorry, I'm catching up with the comments. That's what's so hard because everybody asks me what my YouTube channel's about. Like I read a little bit of everything, so it makes it so hard to give myself like an elevator pitch. Perfect. So I'll have it done in time for that. I'm excited. Yeah. I was going to be out of town the first week of the month anyway, so I was like, nope. I'm just going to read what I have to read for book clubs and go from there. I know you love TBRs. I actually want to do like a TBR wheel because I want to focus on my unread TBR that I already own. So I want to do like a make a wheel and just do random picks from that and film it, of course. Yes, we absolutely, absolutely. It actually will help. And if you, I can't remember if you like audiobooks or not. There is a version that matches this translation that's on Chirp Audio, and I think the audio is like only $4 if you need audio to help you with classics, because I know audio helps me specifically with classics sometimes. That's one I can't get into is Les Miserables. And I just got a copy sent to me of Notre Dame. And I'm going to actually do a library tour once I finish reconfiguring my library because my mom's the best and she found, um, I guess she was on the Facebook Marketplace and she saw that this company was going out of business and they said we have bookshelves if you can go come pick them up. So my mom picked them up for me, so they were technically free. We just had to go pick them up. Yep, and it's specifically this version. So you'll see if you go on Chirp and type in Don Quixote, you'll see this cover. Because I know there's different translations. Because I think this was published in the 1600s originally. It's again the summer of the chunky book for me. Ooh, the only version of Don Quixote I've ever watched, and I don't know if this even technically counts, was a Wishbone TV show from when I was a kid. I don't know if that technically counts. Yes, they do. Audible has everything. That's why they get so much of my money. That's fair. That's fair. I like it for like classics because of the antiquated language or the language that we no longer use anymore. So it can help me figure out where I'm at. Ooh. Again, another chunky book. The Good Wives of Bath. I wanted to read this for a really long time. It just looks like an interesting cover, and it's England in 1364, and it's a dual timeline, and you don't see many books in that time period. Like, you just hear medieval, and but I'm so curious because two people that I follow gave it 5 stars, so I'm really curious. Have you read this before, Liz? Okay. So that was Don Quixote. Yeah. It's huge. But I also don't know how much of that is just because it's translated. Four more books and then we're done with this book haul portion of it. Again, another chunkster. Still Life by Sarah Winman. I've heard fantastic things. Sorry for the glare. I don't know why it does that with white covers. Whoops. Ooh, I'm even more intrigued now. Romance on audio is the best. It depends on the audiobook narrator, though, for me. But Still Life, I have to say, I know people don't like deckled edges, but I love them. I don't know why. And I love a French flap. I don't know why, but I do. I don't know why. It just gives me, like, the vibe of something that you would like to read. I knew what you meant. But this is, I believe, let me double check. It's set in Tuscany in 1944, and two people, an elderly woman and a young couple, become friends. And I'm really, really curious, and that's kind of all I want to know, because a lot, like, I don't know, I guess this is considered, like, women's fiction, even though I hate that term, personally. And this one I specifically picked up at Half Price Books because while we were in Minnesota, I've never been to a Half Price Book, so I wanted to go. I met up with my friend Amber from the Amber Under Bridge channel, and because she doesn't live far from where we were staying, so we hung out for the day, and I picked this up. Emma of 83rd Street. It's like a modern retelling of Emma from Jane Austen. And Jane Austen is one of my favorites, so I had to pick this up. And it actually might work out for a project that I'm doing on my channel. Oh, goodness. I'm surrounded by books. And the last bookstore we went to was the Birch Bark House, which is owned by the author Louise Erdrich. No, you're fine. I do it all the time. So I picked up a couple books while I was there. And if you're ever in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I highly recommend going to this bookstore because it's the most unique bookstore I've ever been to. It's like half art gallery, half bookstore. Um, a woodworker was selling like tables and desks there. Like it was the coolest thing. And I picked this up. This is actually what the store is named after. This is the first book in the Birch Book House series. It's, I believe, a middle grade. Yes, a middle grade. I'm really curious. I know. That's one thing I wish I did. I wish I traveled more. I really do. Like, I've never, besides Mexico once when I was, like, in my early 20s, I've never traveled outside the U.S., sadly. And this last book is one that I am so excited for because I love, like, multi-generational stories. And this is of a indigenous family by Louise Erdrich, Love Medicine. And of course, I was there and I had to get a signed copy. I couldn't not. It's her bookstore. I couldn't buy a couple Louise Erdrich books. So, that's my humongous book haul. As for the TBR for July, I know... What other book are we reading? I have been... That's kind of... It's funny you say that, Liz. That's kind of the discussion idea that I am having with on my channel. The first one we're going to do is Northanger Abbey, and it's funny you say that because this book series, I don't know if the series has a title. It doesn't have a title yet, but one just came out this week that's based on Northanger Abbey, so I'm curious to pick that one up as well. Oh yeah. Yeah. As you can see, we did a lot of book shopping while we were in Minnesota. Which ones haven't you read, just out of curiosity, Liz? Okay. Which book did you read from her, if you don't mind me asking? I'm hoping not to have a avalanche. Hold on. Let me see. What are the books that I have to do for July? Hold on. Let me see. Drive. I'm so unorganized. Oh, come on. So 20th. So we had the London Seance Society on Tuesday. And then a very merry bromance, which is book 5 in the bromance book series. And then what else? I know we have one more in July. July 26th, which is the Mama's Boy series, which is a really funny series. Yes, and I want to do like a book club with just specifically backlist books. I don't know if anybody else would be um interested in that. That works out perfect because August we're gonna do. I don't have a date yet. I'm waiting to hear back for some people that want to do the discussion with me. Um, we're gonna be doing Northanger Abbey. Even though it was the last one that was published after she passed away, it was the first one she wrote. So I wanted to like see how her writing changed from reading the first book that she wrote to the last. And I hope you love Persuasion because it's my favorite one. It's actually my favorite book of all time. But we should definitely do like a backlist book club because I feel like backlist book clubs are easier to get if you don't have the book, like in library systems specifically. Mm, I don't know. Like, I want to do some like literary fiction. Like, I wanted to do some Alison Weir because I have so many of those books because you have the same amount of love as in the Tudor period that I do. So I have so many of those. Um, so many of the Philippa Gregory ones. I have so many. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, me too. I have so many. I have so many. And I have so many that, like, I literally have the first two books and I've never finished them. I have so many. But that's why I want to do, like, over the next year and a half, I want to do, like, yes. I want to do, like, the read what you own challenge. Sorry, needed some tea. Yes. Yep. Yep. I feel like as someone in the booktube sphere, that's just normal. Like my friends are always like, "Oh, I read a lot of books," and I'm like, "How many books do you own?" Like 100. I'm like, "How? How do you only own 100?" Not judging. I'm like, "How?" So I have a couple romances fit in there, with the Who Picked This Book Club, my friend Nicole. Um, where I'm still co-hosting that one. So we do that bi-weekly with our friend Jen. I have so many. I think I have all of like the wives books. I have there's one that just came out. That's um the tagline is his story, so I'm assuming it's all from like Henry's perspective. I know. Yep, I want to do that. I have so many literary fiction. Like, I know people crap on literary fiction, but there are so many that I'm so curious about. Yeah, I just, but I also don't want to buy the whole series before I read it either. Like, I'm trying not to do that because I've done that and I've ended up not liking a series. Yeah, Hoopla, forget it. The sad part is like I use my Kindle so much and I still forget what I have on my Kindle. I know. I'm just like, I want to get down to like single digits of unread books on my TBR. I don't know if that'll ever be possible, but I can try. It's so bad. I love historical fiction so much, and it just gets a bad rap. And you're like the only person I know who loves historical fiction as much as I do, who also loves fantasy as much as I do. I I completely agree. There is some really bad like lit fic that we had to read in like high school, but there's so much better stuff now. That's why like even though this is only I think this came out in 2001. Um and it's always on like the fastback loan on my library. Like you can only get the audiobook for like 3 days. And you see how chunky this book is. There's no way I can finish it in 3 days. So that's why I was just like I'm going to when we found a copy at the used bookstore, I like screamed out loud. You could even ask him. Yep. Yeah, I can't seem to find a copy though. I've been looking on Amazon and they don't seem to have a copy. Ooh. Yeah, exactly. Like one of my favorites is I know it's not as historical, but what is it called? It's The Spanish Princess. It's by Philippa Gregory. It's all about King Henry's first wife. and it's so interesting. They actually made a mini series out of it that was on Stars, I think, and that was a really good mini series. I have to say that even though they had to switch some stuff up, they stuck very closely to as much as they could to the book as possible. Yep, that's it. I can't seem to find a copy. I don't know why. I'm gonna star that so I don't forget it. I wish it was. But then I watch so much BookTube, and then I'm just like, that sounds really cool. That sounds really cool, and then add 30 more things to my TBR. I'm just like, it's a never-ending cycle. And I'm actually talking the significant other into doing a couple lives and videos with me. Where again, he really loves sci-fi. He really loves sci-fi. So I'm trying to get him back into reading. And I'm not a big sci-fi reader, so we're kind of like going back and forth with each other. Oh, I'll have to look because the paperback was like $30 the last time I looked, and I was like, wow, that's a lot. And there goes the books. I knew it was going to happen at some point. It's okay. They're fine. Yeah, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind if it's like that's why I like dual timeline. But sometimes my issue with dual timeline books are I end up liking one timeline more than the other. Yeah, I know. I just got a NetGalley count. Trouble City. Trouble City. But I'm like doing a loose TBR for July. Um, I'm doing 3 books for, no, 2 books for the Who Picked This Book Club. And then, other than that, I'm kind of taking July as like a mood reading month. And then I'll be reading, starting in August, I'll be reading with Helen, um, Doctor Strange and Mr. Norrell. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I don't know why I always say that. I'll look it up. That's a good point. That's a really good point. That's not a bad idea, actually. But that's why I was curious about the good wife of Bath, because this isn't a time period that's talked about a lot. 1364. Yep. That's what takes me out of it with some of like the literary fiction is like if it sounds like it would be someone talking today kind of thing. I will definitely put it on my wish list though. I can't afford it right now, but on my wish list it'll go. And I have to read this one. The audio should be coming in next week though for my library, so that will help. But I just don't understand why if you have a huge series, why they just don't put the numbers on the spines. Because like it makes it so confusing. Like I really want to read that series my boyfriend bought me accidentally book 6 of, but like it didn't say that it was part of a series or anything like that on the cover. I know, I had issues with it. Julie got upset and like talked to the publishers because there was issues with me signing up. So if you still want to, I actually had to reach out to her privately and figure out how to do it because she helps me figure it out. Or if I can help you in any way, let me know. 2? I used to have the Brooklyn Library, but they stopped that program. So I have two. But I would like to find another library that has a similar program because I loved the amount of options they had from the Brooklyn Library. The part that stinks though is my Hoopla only gives me 4 credits a month. So when everybody's like, "Yeah, I get 12 credits a month," I'm like, "I'm so jealous." I'm so jealous. Oop. At least the books didn't collapse until I was done with the book haul. Yeah. And I heard there's a way, like, if you wanted to, like, swap information with people to use other people's library cards, but I don't know how it works and if that's technically legal. I don't know. It's so weird because when I signed up for my local town's library, they only had Libby. And then last year they got Hoopla too, so I use Hoopla and Libby with them depending on which one has what I'm looking for at the time. Mine does. My Hoopla does. Huh. That's smart. I miss the Philly library. The Philly library is just I love the feeling when you go in there. Have you ever been in a little like side door that they sell all the used books at? Oh, I used to find some gems in there. Some books that have been like out of print. I know. She writes so fast. I'm like, slow down. Oh no. I'm so like my friends have 12 credits a month and I'm just like I'm so jealous. I get 4. I get 4. So jealous. I think I have 6 with my Libby. But Libby seems to take longer because you're like in line. That's the one thing I like about Hoopla is there's no line. If it's available, you can pick it up that day. Huh. I'll have to do some digging around on my Kindle and see if there's a way we can work around that. Oh, my mouse is just not cooperating with me tonight. Exactly. Like I love Hoopla for like the novellas, the like that's how I read all of Katie Roberts' books in 2 years because everything was on Hoopla. And like they have so much more variety of stuff. Like I live in a very conservative town and the amount of smut books you can get from my library is banana pants. Do you like her books? I have such a hard time with Emily Henry. Like I think her writing is great. I think she writes fantastically. I get really upset when they're labeled as romances when they're not really romances. I feel like I feel like a lot of authors are I feel like I'm going to ruffle feathers by saying this, but I feel like a lot of people that a lot of people that I know that read her books seem to only like the literary fiction type romances. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I have a hard time when they're labeled as a romance when they're not really. They're fantastically well written. I just I read what was Friends We Meet on Vacation. I did not like that one at all. Okay, so I'm not the only one. I hate to say it makes me feel better, but it does. Like all my friends that live in Phoenix are like, yeah, we get 12 a month, and I'm just like, I'm so jealous. Are they really? I'll have to do some digging. I'm so excited. I love that so many indie authors are now getting audiobooks and getting in like being available in books, libraries and bookstores. I love it. Ugh. I don't think they have I think they're like literary fiction with romantic elements. I feel like they're for people that don't normally read romance, which is fine. Like if I like to call them like the starter pack to getting into romance. They're fantastically written. I feel like the romances sometimes are like shoehorned in because she knows her audience. I hope people don't like come for me. Really? Is it that long? Oh my goodness. Is it really that long? Jessica Cage. Why does that name sound so familiar? I have I really want to read that Self Same Metal, the one that you showed me that I immediately bought because the cover is gorgeous and it's Shakespeare inspired. Yeah, exactly. Like I feel like I don't feel like they're bad books. I just feel like they're mismarketed as romances. I feel like they're more fictions with more fiction books with romantic elements. Like I'm so used to reading Harlequin that like were like romances on the spicier side that I'm just like, but nothing happened. They kissed. I really think you're right, Liz, because it's not that they're bad. I just like my friends who are mainly romance readers pick them up and they're just like, it's not really a romance. I'm so jealous of your six. I apologize. My allergies are awful this time of year. I just didn't want to cough in anybody else's ears. Oh my god, have we been live for like an hour? Holy crap. But yes. Yes. I just don't have an idea of when I want to start it. I'm thinking maybe September because I'm actually trying to set up some interviews with authors that I'm going to do on my channel for the latter half of the year. I'm so excited. I'm completely down for that, Vina. You get like the greatest fantasy arcs. Like the covers are gorgeous. I'm just like, not that I'm jealous, but I'm like, whose email list did she get on? Did they get on? Because I'm so jealous. Like, yeah, I'm actually setting up interviews with two more authors, and I'm just waiting for them to respond on dates that they're available before I schedule anything else because I don't want to accidentally double book myself. Yeah, but I'm really excited. The next one that I'm doing is in August, and that will be The Drowned Kingdom by P.L. Stewart. and he's absolutely lovely. I cannot wait. Yeah, I have two now that I gotta work on. Why is it always when you get like approved for an arc, then you don't have time to read it, and then I feel really bad? Oh, I'm so I'm so bad. Ooh, you're speaking my language. Yes. I've gotten in touch with some of them. I'm just not on Twitter as much as I used to be. Like P.L. Stewart, I don't know if you've read any of his books, but he's an absolute gem of a human being. Yes, they do. And you're just like, oh crap, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. And then especially for like cozy murder mysteries, and the same with romances, they pump them out so quickly. And not saying that they're not well written, it's just they come up so fast. Oh, 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 hold on. Okay, I thought my computer was gonna die for a minute. Is there any other topics or anything else anybody in the chat wants to talk about? Or I'm so surprised I got so many people on a Friday night. I figured everybody would be out doing stuff. PL is, oh my god, he's amazing. Oh, you're part of Before We Go vlog? I didn't know that. We're gonna do I'm gonna do a live discussion August 18th, 8 p.m. EST. It's a Friday. We're gonna discuss A Drowned Kingdom, the first book in the series. If you're able to um, get to it, we are gonna discuss the first book with him as well. Yeah, he's so lovely. I'm not looking forward to that. The only political-ish book that I found interesting, I guess it's because I have a journalism background, was, what was it called? Oh my goodness. Um, All the President's Men by Bob Woodward, and oh my god, my journalism professor would be so mad at me right now. Woodward and Bernstein. Yes, I just got the one because I ordered Harlequin through the website. I just got the one about I think part of it's in Egypt. Yay! Yeah, it'll be on this channel. August 18th. He was so excited when I asked him. I wasn't expecting him to say yes. I haven't created the thumbnail yet, so that's why I haven't made it completely public. Ooh, fall book, fall book. I'm really looking forward to I can never remember the name of it, but it's Tananarive Dew's newest book that's coming out, I believe, on Halloween. Oh, what is it called? Hold on. I don't have that many books that I'm like super excited for the fall. I'm sure that's going to change. Um, yes, I have that one and the romance cover about the baby to bond them or something. Yes, thank you, Carl Bernstein. Yeah, that's like literally the only political book that actually interested me, but I think that's partially because I really liked the journalistic side of it. Nice. What is that book called? I just pre-ordered it too. What is it called? Um, The Judas Blossom. That's coming out in July. It's a Persian-based fantasy. I'm really excited for that one. Um, November 1st by Tananarive Due. It is, what is it called? The Reformatory. Because I read The Good House last year with Bree from the Lockbook Titian, and it scared the bejesus out of me. Um, so I want to read everything by Tananarive Due. Let's see, what else? What else? What else? Yeah, all I have is in pre-orders is the Earth Divers bind up, which is a bind up of about 6 to 8 issues of a comic that I really like from Stephen Graham Jones. Um, the next book in the Christmas Tree Farm series by Julianne Lindsay, and the book by Tanana Reeve. So I don't have that many, but I also don't know in every field what's coming out, or every genre, I should say. What do you have on your list, Liz? Out of curiosity. But I've been mainly leaning into like my Harlequins lately. But then I get them and then I never get to them, and I get so mad at myself. Mm, okay. I don't know what's been going on with StreamYard, but it's not cooperating. October 17th. Yep. Yep. That one. What series is closing in on the clues by Brandon Sanderson? I don't. What series is that? Or is that just a standalone? Mm. Ooh, what book is that? Scandalous Secrets. Excuse me, sorry. Whew, that came out of nowhere. Oh, little munchkin. Hey, you. Have you been, what kind of lurking are we talking about, sir? Hi. Love you too, hon. Ooh. No way. No crying in baseball. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm gonna definitely have to, I'm gonna star that so I don't forget. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, is she continuing that series? Or is it done with the 3 books? Yeah, Midnight Vesper is the other half. I'm trying to talk him into coming on the channel and doing some sci-fi stuff with me. Actually, you would have to. You like a lot of sci-fi, don't you? For you would know more about sci-fi than I do. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna wear him down. Okay, I have the first 3 on audio. I remember liking the first one because it was juicy. It was juicy drama and I loved it. Ooh. Okay. You didn't tell me about that. Okay. I'll have to pick your brain later when I call you. But thank you everybody for being here. I don't want to keep you guys too late because I know it's Friday and not everybody's like me who's always in the house. So, but thank you everybody for being here. Whoops. My Oh, I love the drama. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. Like when I saw the back of the first one, I was like, "Excuse me?" Like it was great. But thank you all for being here. It means so much. Thank you for everybody that's watching on the replay. I appreciate it so much. And hopefully the next content that you'll see on this channel will be the mid-year freakout tag. I think I've got that correct. But I have a couple tags saved up that I meant to do earlier that I'm just gonna bring into the summer with me. And then some collaboration ideas that I'm working on. Good night, love. We'll definitely have to plan a Don Quixote read, buddy read, for sure. Bye, thank you. Have a good night. Thank you for everybody watching on the replay. Bye.